Hey guys, CTB Ram here, and I'm having a problem with selection that just started happening, and it's quite literally driving me insane. I don't know what I flipped, but I flipped some kind of a switch. And all I've done here is I've created a cube, I duplicated the cube, and I copied it, or I just transformed it over to this location right here. And the problem I'm having is all of my selection masks are standard or set up normally as far as I can see. My I'm in object mode, which is fine. And I come here and I pick this cube and I say go to vertex, and it goes into component mode, and I select this vertex right here, and because I've dragged over this object, it's selecting this object. And if I have a million objects all around this thing and I go into component mode and say vertex and do that, I pick not only the vertex but 8,000 other things, and if I translate I get that. Right? You see this guy, everything moves, and it's driving me out of my mind. So the only way I can get this thing to work now is I have to literally not just I can't select and go into vertex mode and select something. What I have to do is I have to come up here and I have to go into component mode, select this thing, then pick vertex, then pick the vertex. And now you can see I can pick vertexes on that without picking components around it. Right? But now I got to sit here and keep flipping back and forth between this and this and this and this and this and this, or hitting the hotkey, which is F8, 9, 10, etc. One second, what did I just flipped something up here now. Oh man. Good grief. Okay, I got that right. So that's what it's doing. I pick this guy, I go to vertex mode, if I'm in object mode and I select, I'm picking everything. Right? This just started happening the other day that I remember, that I recall. I basically was working on stuff, real life stuff came up. I haven't been able to get into Maya for a while. I came back, decided to see if I could work on some things I need to get done in Maya, and now I'm having this behavior, and it's quite literally making me nuts. Let me pause for a second. I know it's something that I turned on in preferences, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the recording for a bit. I'm going to close Maya. I'm going to delete my Maya preferences folder, and then I'm going to open Maya again so it creates a brand new default folder with all the default preference settings. The issue with that is, and I would just start from there and not worry about it, if it wasn't for the fact that I mean I have a bunch of custom toolbars now that I don't want to have to, or shelves that I don't want to have to recreate. I don't want to have to recreate all of my hotkeys. I don't want to have to recreate all of my scripts. It's just, you know, if it's just one little switch that I got flipped someplace, I'd rather do that than have to spend the next 5 hours restoring my environment. So anyway, let me pause for a second and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back again, and as you can see I shut down Maya, I deleted my Maya preferences folder, and I've relaunched Maya, and now it's come back up with the default recreating the Maya preferences folder, and now I've got everything set back to the defaults. So I've got, you know, all these GUI interface things turned back on, like my time slider and all of that I can go in and turn off. But the bad thing is now I have all my scripts are gone. I'd have to move those over. All of my shelves are now gone. All of my hotkey settings are gone. I don't know how that affects plugins that I've got, like DMM. I'd have to get all of those back. I don't know how to do that easily. So, you know, I've lost all of these shelves and plugins and things, with the exception of, you know, GoBrush seems to have remembered it was there. But I had DMM and I had several other plugins that are now gone. And trying to figure out how to reinstall those and just relink them or reinstall them to get the tabs back without double installing or having to uninstall first and then reinstall. This is the problem when your Maya interface gets messed up. It literally throws me into a tizzy for days to try to get my interface back to the way it was, simply because of this problem. Let me demonstrate what happens when I'm in default mode that's different than the behavior I was showing before. If I go to create polygon cube, Right, and I draw out a cube here. And I take this guy and just duplicate it and translate it over. Right, now I picked this guy. You can see I've got all the same default selection masks picked on. I'm in object mode. I right click and say verts. It puts this object into component mode, and I select that vert. Right? Or I select that vert, and I'm dragging over this object, and it's not picking this object. I don't have to sit there and come up here and specifically go into component mode and then pick it, and then when I'm done go back into object mode. I can stay in object mode, hit vertex, and pick that vertex and drag over any objects that are in this scene, and it's only picking the components on the object that I've selected, which is the behavior I want. And the behavior I see, I'm used to, and I don't know what I've done to turn it into this mode where now when I'm in object mode and I'm trying to pick components on an object, it's picking every object in my selection box. So if anybody can please, for the love of God, tell me what I've turned on and how to turn it back off, I'd really appreciate it. So I don't have to sit here and rebuild all my shelves and all my plugins and all my hotkeys and all. I'd like to just use Maya and not spend the next 3 days trying to get Maya to behave the way I want it to behave again.